Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be looking at 3 top performing stocks that are on my watch list, and I'm actively going to be investing in these in the coming months and weeks. So the first one off here is Robinhood. I currently own several shares in this company. I can disclose that down in the bottom. I have all of the information in my description down below, so you can take a look at that. For this specific company, the reason I am recommending it at the moment is I am noticing substantial increase in accounts being opened, as well as their credit card, Robinhood Gold Card, is now expanding its reach. So we can see the price performance on this has continued to be at all-time highs right here. We are at currently 72.27 in the after hours, and we can see prices continue to go up, which is nice to see if you are a shareholder and you bought back down here in the single digits. We dropped to a low of $29.66 and shot back up right there at a close of $43.68, and now we are sitting at $72.27. Now, the most important part I would say is look at the price performance. It has been staggering in 2 years, 676.34%. Robinhood continues to impress the market, and I am an investor long-term in this company. Even though I am using Fidelity to analyze this, I still believe in Robinhood's capabilities as a brokerage. They are my main brokerage. If we continue to come down here, we can read more about the company. If you're interested, go ahead and pause it right there. And then there is their unconfirmed earnings calls that are going to be coming up here in August and October. Exciting to see those when they come along. So let's actually go look at the comparisons here. The thing with Robinhood that I have always talk to about people is who are really their competitors, and there are none at the moment. You know, Fidelity is a great one. Robinhood is standing alone in this. Webull cannot even come close. There is no one else nearly as good as Robinhood, so that's why there is no one in this category. So if we want to go ahead and look at the analysis for this, this is what people are buying into. It is a neutral position, and I personally believe that it is something that should be bullish because we are in a time where people actually want to invest in the market. And on top of that, they are also offering an incredible 3% cash back on everything with their card through a gold membership. I still think that is amazing to see from a company like Robinhood. And the fact that their price per share has skyrocketed to $73.55, and we can see it continues to go up. It's just great. Their PE ratio is not too high. It is a little, but not too high at 41.41 at the moment. And then we can also see where they are sitting at with outstanding shares. And that is another thing to bring up in their most recent earning calls. They are going to be aggressively buying back their shares, so the price of this continues to skyrocket. If we come ahead and look at the earnings right here, we can see exactly where this is coming at. We can see in Q4 of 2024, they substantially beat their earnings and continue to grow this company, and it's just something I really like on the long term. Overall, this is a good company to invest in, I personally think. Remember, this is not financial advice, but this is do your own research and see if this is what is best for you in your investment. I will be buying in and dollar cost averaging up as we go forward. That is this company, and I want to go ahead and move on to the next company right now. We'll do that now. My next company that I want to speak about is Spotify. If you are all aware, Spotify has been blowing up recently as a company that is gearing towards itself towards podcasting. If you look at any big creators that are in the space, Spotify is the #1 platform for it, and it continues to outperform. If we look at the chart, obviously it continues to go up, but my favorite here on the Fidelity website is we can see the price performance in 5 years, in 2 years, and it has continued to go up in the past 5 days, 11.96%. It is a rather expensive stock at $712.82. You know, it would be interesting to see them possibly do a, split along the way. We'll see if that ever happens. Nothing is in the works, but I would like to see that. Maybe it gets close to $1,000 a share, just so we can buy more shares and overall make it more accessible to the community here. Price performance, like we can see, it has continued to skyrocket. The very interesting thing I would say about Spotify is that this company was actually not profitable not too many years ago. So we can see the price performance has really actually increased recently. We actually were going down in 2022. I'm not sure if you remember the whole recession talk back then, and when the Biden administration was in, this is that low point right here. We were at around $77 a share, and we can see at the max time frame over here. Let's go to into that, we actually opened up right here at, let's see, 165.90, and then you can go ahead and pause it if you want to read. But ever since then, it has been a continuous climb up. We can see the low points here in 2022, and then the 10-year is really what I like to look at here. And actually, let me just adjust this really quick for you so you can see it. So we can see actually the dips right here on the 10-year, one moment right there. So notice how we can go up and down, and we can see where those prices were, and we can see the dips right there where exactly that was back on December 19th, 2022. And we can see the price has continued to go up. But anyway, speaking of this company continues to perform well, and I do like to see that their earnings reports are going to be coming up here soon, because I'm excited to see how Q2 and Q3 is looking. And then let's go ahead and look at where we are talking about, earnings and actually dividends. Unfortunately, they're not showing it right here, but we're going to go over here and look at it on this specific screen if it will pop up on time. Sometimes this charting takes a little bit of time, but overall sentiment, the fundamental analysis has been strong on this company, and the technicals have been. It's interesting that they don't actually have the earnings right here, and I'm noticing maybe it is something going on with Fidelity's website, or actually, there we go. We can actually see it right there. So earnings right here has actually been continuing to increase. What I was telling you before, right, with companies that are expensive like this, when we sit at $712.82 a share, we can see that they were actually losing money. So if you recall, I had said, back in 2022, 23, they were actually a non-profitable company. Now we can go into that in another video if you're interested about it, but let's talk about this specific. Speaking about this, we can see just how negative they were in the ground, okay? And continuously they have been increasing revenue. Now that is through podcasting, that is through music licensing, and other subscription bases that they're adding. Like they want to add books more onto their platform, and we're going to be continuing to see them evolve. I'm excited to see that. And then challenge YouTube, challenge Apple. It's nice to see some competition in the space. So we can see it has continued to skyrocket. I like it in the long term. I am bullish on Spotify. And if we come down, we can see where the fundamental analysis is, and then the technical statements. And then of course we can see where the sentiment is for the analysis at 6.3 out of 10. Of course, we always want to look at that PE. We can look at that PE ratio right there. And then of course we can look at the value and the market cap. It's at 143.76 billion. So overall, I would say the company is good. I think the only competitors to Spotify right here, as I'm coming down here to the very bottom, I would say is something like an Amazon or possibly Apple. But Apple is more technology based, where they are focusing. Yes, of course they have Apple Music, but it's more iPhone in that sense. Overall, I would say Spotify is kind of alone. I mean, you do obviously have, iHeartRadio, you do have Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and their other incorporations of their apps, but nothing to really worry about. Amazon, I would say, is probably the closest competitor to Spotify in ways, because they do offer similar products, and then Apple. But overall, I do like Spotify in the long term. Their price performance has been beating all of them. I'm excited to see them grow as a company, and I hope to follow along on this company's growth. Let's jump into the next stock that I am watching closely right now. So this specific company I actually ran into by accident a few days ago. It is the ticker symbol MELI, and it is actually based in another country. It is not an American-based company. And the reason it caught my attention was because of the price performance. If we come and actually look at the price performance on the 10-year, it is up 1,700.76%. Quite staggering to see a company like this grow. Now, if you're unaware of what this company does, we can actually come down here and read the profile. All it is, in summary, is it is an e-commerce platform, and they are growing it as we move into a more digital world, selling online, having Shopify stores, which is what this is directly competing with. We are going to be reliant on companies like this. So it's exciting to see another company price performance so well. Year to date, we continue to skyrocket. And then if we want to look at the 10-year, which is always my favorite, we can see just how cheap this was back in 2015 at only $148.50. We are at $2,573.96 as of this recording. So it is very impressive to see where we are going with this company. I like to see that, and I'm excited to see them continue to evolve. So if we want to look at the max time frame, because that's always what I like to look at, this goes all the way back to 2007, and we were at only $22 at the open. And it has been a good company ever since. It is a company that I will be investing into in dollar cost averaging. What's nice is, of course, we can always buy fractional shares. We do not have to buy the full share. Now, the final thing here is we want to look at earnings, right? Are these profitable companies? So looking at the earnings here, they have actually missed on one of their earnings back in 2024, but they have beat it almost every single time. And we can see for Q2 of 2025, it looks to again do past what it was on Q1. Excited to see that. If we want to actually click more like before, we can, and we can see where this company is projected. So it has been profitable. It has continued to be profitable as we go into the future. As we continue to scroll down here, we can see where the fundamental analysis is, where people are rating this thing, and we can see where the validation is, and we can see where people are thinking this is going to be. And then the short term, this is where people are thinking it's weak, and then 6 to 9 months strong, and then 9 months to 2 years it's strong. I agree with that. And then overall, where is this? The analysis rating is right here at 8.1 out of 10. We can see the latest research and reports on where people were actually buying and selling this. And then of course the ownership. And then my favorite, I always like to look at competitors. All right, so who would be the main competitors against this specific company, right? We want to look at Microsoft as a competitor because again, right, they deal with something similar. We have Amazon, we have eBay, and I'm surprised they don't actually have Shopify on here because they would compete in several ways. And of course, Western Credit Union. If you can look at the performance of each and every single company, the only one that has come close to this is actually eBay. Everything else has performed better for this specific company. So that's why I am actually watching it. I ran into it by accident, so I'm happy that I can bring this to you all. And overall, we can see, we can compare everything right here and where the price was, the change, and it has continued to skyrocket in the past 52 weeks at 57.85%. Very impressive. I like this company long term. Hopefully this video helped you all out. Let me know if you have any more questions or want to discuss any specific stock or any ETFs in mind. Drop it down below. As always, thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.